Hello, I wanted to make a quick video, but without glasses, because they don't really work with me. About logos. Again. If we look back at the original logo, you can see it's quite a simple thing. It was drawn on my phone rather quickly, nothing special. But it slowly evolved, getting more complicated and getting like the drop highlight thingy. Eventually also the frame, differentiating between the different channels. And then a sort of big redesign, making everything clean again. This was a turning point where I thought like, you know, I want things to be a bit nicer, a bit cleaner, more modern as well. Oh god, my hair. That's better. Then it was just small tweaks, nothing special, and then another major redesign of changing the acronym, because apparently CP was already an existing acronym that I didn't really want to be associated with. So yeah, CK and CG it is. But these logos were always kind of temporary, quickly thrown together, but you know, it works. These icons, because if we go to the logo, you can see something completely different. This logo I made a while ago and is still in use today. I actually didn't know how to draw this on my phone, so I drew it with a pencil on paper, and then I took a picture of that and I fill bucketed the pencil lines, which is why they have this really rough texture that kind of looks intentional, but I know it isn't, and I think it's a little messy. But I kept this logo for a while, and then later also updating it, giving it the outline, which I think is really nice. Yeah, making a cleaner outline, and also updating my banner quite a bit, actually, making it more cool. Yeah, they're cool. But what I wanted to show you now is actually new logos. Look at that. Welcome to Photoshop. I made these to replace my logo drawn on paper, because I thought it was time for an update. Yes, it was definitely time for an update. I used that logo for way too long. So these are the new logos. Actually, I'll just show them off here. Look at that. It is so clean. I love the colors, I love the outline, and I love how coherent everything is. That was definitely one of the most important things about the new logo, being coherent, because I can actually show you these are guides that I used. So everything has the same thickness, and I also have this, which is half the thickness, which I use, for example, here in the P and between the C and the A, and as you can see right here between the letters, it's the half size. And I think this really helped with making things look a lot cleaner. Also in the gaming logo, yeah, things are generally a lot cleaner. And also I gave the Caspro logo itself also new colors, so it all matches, which, you know, just makes sense. Another thing I really like about the Knutsel logo is this tiny little, that the top of the E is not connected. I know it has no function, it is purely visual, and I was not able to incorporate this in any other of the logos, but I just think it looks nice. Yeah, it just works, it's nice. Don't judge me about it. It also kind of matches my R being disconnected. So that's something from the previous logo that I did want to kind of bring back. And then for the icons, as you have probably already seen, is that they look completely different from my logo, which really bothered me. The icons have these thick letters, which are just flat colors, and then it has the drop highlight and the frame and the gray background. It was completely disjointed from the logo, which as you can see has these very thin outlines and a horizontal gradient, and the sharp corners, which was the opposite of what my icon had. So that was something I think was very important with the new logo, is going back to the round style, which just looks a lot better. So yeah, I basically just took the style from the icon, applied it to the logo, but still kept the flat, not flat colors because there's a gradient, but the outline and everything being clean and no borders, no background, just simple. And then what I did for the icons is I basically just took the letter from the subtitle in my channel names, and I used those with, again, the same colors. So it's the same icon, and then I have it for, the gaming channel as well, which I think looks so nice, because I also offset them, but they're still aligned to the same grid, which makes them, again, coherent, and I think it just looks a lot more dynamic and nice. Something else that I've also done is I've made new colors. So if you would look at the original color for the Knutsel channel, you can see that the new one is slightly different. There's a bit more brighter yellow in it, but a bigger difference is, for example, with the gaming channel, this, not bad, but it's a little muted compared to the new logo, which has a lot more of the bluish in it, and I think it's just very nice and fresh and lighter, but also has a much more clear gradient compared to the older one. You can clearly see the color fade, but my favorite one is Eclipse channel. As you can see, this is just blue, but the new one has purple. Oh, I love this gradient, the purple to the light blue. It is beautiful, and especially on the logo itself, if you would just take a look at that. Without that, yes, I think that's beautiful. The colors are nice. The nice round icon is nice, and it's all aligned to the grid. My favorite part is how this negative space in the white is kind of the crescent moon, and it comes out perfectly on the halfway point of the image. That just icing on the cake. I love it. This was very fun to do, actually, just a complete refresh from the original logos. Yeah, it was definitely needed, and I think these look fantastic. I also have these PNG versions of just the full leather, which I think just, it's nice, it's clean, and I'm very excited to use these in the future. I've also updated them in my banner, but not much else has changed there, so don't get too excited. The banners were actually still quite recent and were also made in Photoshop, so I probably won't be updating those for a while. But I think this is nice. This is just nice. These logos are nice. These icons are nice. Yep, I'm happy. So, I hope you enjoyed the new logos, and I hope you enjoyed this weird video, and I'll see you in the next one, maybe. Bye.